Here we go again. Review of right and left pumps and their failures. Straight off the graffiti page right here. Oops, here we got it. The right side of the heart, again, is pushing blood into the pulmonary circuit. So it pushes blood through an artery towards the lungs. The right side of the heart is receiving blood from the systemic circuit, from the body. So therefore, the peripheral circuit or systemic circuit is sending venous blood to the right side of the heart. This right pump then pushes the blood over towards the pulmonary circuit through pulmonary arteries to the lungs. From the lungs, the blood comes back oxygenated through the pulmonary veins, part of the pulmonary circuit, and it comes into the left side of the heart. The left side of the heart then pushes the blood through arteries out into the systemic circuit. So again, there is a loop right here that is continuous, and it's extremely important to realize that the amount of blood leaving the right side of the heart should equal the amount of blood that's leaving the left side of the heart. In fact, these volumes at this point, this point, this point, and that point right there should be the same. So that's called ventricular balance when we talk about the two ventricles. So the pulmonary trunk volume is equal to the aorta volume. Now, it is a circle. If everything is moving at the same rate, then therefore the circle keeps spinning. However, something could go wrong. So here's an example of something going wrong. If the right pump for some reason fails, that means it's not pushing the blood into the lungs. Well, even though that is very significant, more significant is the fact that when it accepts the venous blood from the systemic circuit, if it doesn't sort of turn around and push it out real quickly, then there's a backup into the systemic circuit. And what you have right here is peripheral edema. Right pump failure leads to peripheral edema because of the backup pressure in the systemic veins. What you end up is getting puffy. That's what that should be right there, puffy limbs. And so there will be peripheral edema. Arms and legs will be puffy. You press on them, the pitting will become obvious, and that points towards right pump failure. So, on the surface of the person, you can see evidence of peripheral edema. Now, if the left pump is the one that's at fault, again, it's not pushing the blood out into the systemic circuit through these systemic arteries, but that's not the big deal. The big deal in this little story is it's not accepting the blood from the pulmonary circuit. If it doesn't accept the blood from the pulmonary circuit, there's going to be a backup of blood into the lungs. Well, edema out here leads to puffy limbs. Edema in here leads to fluid being pushed into the air spaces. So the alveoli will begin to fill, at least in part, with fluid being pushed by the pressure of the edema. So it's called pulmonary edema, and the cause is left pump failure. Now for this person right here, you may not see anything on the outside, like arms and legs being edemic, to tell you what's going on. But really indicative of problems right here is take your stethoscope, listen to their lungs. It might sound like an aquarium inside with all kinds of bubbles and wheels and rails and squeaks of all sorts as the air is moving past the fluid that's accumulating inside the bronchial tree. These individuals, by the way, do not want to lay down. If you ask them to lay down when you listen to their heart, they will resist. They'll have a feeling of being waterboarded or something to that effect. They have to sit up, and they get panicky if they try to lay down.